Welcome, ladies and gentle cats, boys and girls, to episode 15 of Faded Connections. I hope you had an awesome week. It's been a very eventful week in terms of Path of Exile news. The Legion expansion has been announced, which we're going to get on PC on the 7th of June, and which will feature a new encounter mechanic that will build towards new endgame encounters as well, where we'll get new rewards, but also it will feature a massive overhaul of the combat system in Path of Exile, mostly in regards to attacks, among which we'll get animation canceling and other little qualities of life, which we've probably all wanted for a long time. So I'm very hyped to be here today with the co-host Balor&Mage and TarkeCat as well as Zizaran. Awesome that you guys could make it. Thanks for being here. How are you doing?
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for having me.
Great. I think we've all been delving a little bit into the synthesis flashback as well recently. What are you guys up to? Oh, I know Tarky is not playing any flashback at all. Wait, maybe you want to talk real quickly about what have you been up to?
Very briefly, this is the first flashback or 1 month I've skipped, I think, ever. I never normally take breaks from PoE, and it's been quite nice taking a break from PoE. I'm extra excited for 3.7. I've been hanging out, doing Borderlands, and just playing other ARPGs, right?
Nice. Borderlands in preparation for the Borderlands 3 drop.
Yeah, so I played a little bit of Borderlands 2 when it first came out with a friend who was like, you have to play it, dude. We'll play together every day. It'll be sick. And then he did what every friend does, and then he stops playing. Yeah, and then it was cool. So I never actually went back and played it. So I played Borderlands 1 for the first time, which was pretty cool. And now I'm halfway through Borderlands 2 for the first time. That's pretty exciting. Yeah, it's cool.
Awesome.
I've never tried Borderlands.
You'd like it. It's really good. Really would recommend it.
Thanks. I'll look into it.
I don't think I've played that.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
What ladder push have we taken you from? This, where are you coming from right now?
I'm making you lose. That's the real thing.
Nah, I mean, I'm a little dead inside after all the deaths. I died a lot in flashback. I had a couple of unfair deaths actually for a change. Usually most of my deaths are all me doing dumb shit. But for a change, there was the last death especially, which was me being decayed. Yeah, the Thunderstruck.
So
Oh yeah, I've seen that one.
Being decayed into Thunderstruck was not very fun. That
was woefully unfair.
Yeah. Usually my deaths aren't unfair, so this was a nice change of pace. But yeah, no, I've died a lot on that, and I was making a new Hierophant, but then rank 1 Elementalist died, and I was like, So I figured I'd go for Elementalist again. So the guy is 98 that I need to beat, and I'm 95, so should be able to beat that. Just gotta go hard.
Are you gonna go for the rank? Which one? 3 or
3? Rank 3 Elementalist. I just really want an Elementalist altar. Because there's a lot of other ones that are a lot easier right now. Hierophant's fairly open, Assassin's not too bad, Pathfinder and Deadeye is very easy. Pathfinder just died today, rank 1. There's a lot of ones that are
It's pretty easy too.
Is it?
Yeah. Well, I don't think number 1 is, but if you want... if you just want a demi, Ascendant is very easy. But I think number 1's taken. I think there's 100, but...
Yeah. Oh yeah, wow. Oh, but number 2 is Steel, so you can only go for 3, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
Or hope Steel dies.
Doesn't happen that much.
No.
Yeah, the other ones
are
Yeah. I mean, 96 takes 2 days. It's not too bad.
Well,
don't you get to activate the method cheat code and instantly kill any other player?
Only other players on his team.
Yeah, exactly. That's fine.
What have you been up to, Balor? Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to. Hyro's actually what?
More competitive now. It's 98. It was 95 before.
Yeah, I just died on my Hyro. I was rank 2 Hyro yesterday, And then I fell down to rank 4, and I was like, before the podcast, when I was done with all the preparations, I was like, oh, okay, now we get to play, and we have to push, we have to go fast, forehead. And I ran a double turbo-shaped tropical island, extra lightning and penetration. And I got just... Well, it wasn't a problem until I got one hit from the boss, wanted to sidestep so I could get ES recharge before the second hit. First hit was like 7k or something like that. And I walked into a tree. And then I got hit with it.
That makes amazing.
Sense. Yep, death by tree.
Yeah,
I haven't been doing a lot with flashback. I went in softcore to get to 95 because that would be easy, and then I ended up mostly skipping most of the event and spent a lot of time playing Last Epoch instead. I think I've put out 7 or 8 build guides for Last Epoch in 2 weeks. I've now played everything. Everything that has a tree and is available, I've now played, and anything that was good enough to suggest other people play it now has a build guide.
Wow!
So now I'm done with it until the end of next league when there's more stuff there. But yeah, I really enjoyed it a lot.
Are you hyped for tomorrow?
Shit, is that tomorrow?
Yes, tomorrow.
Then yes. Yeah.
What's tomorrow?
It's less than 24 hours from now.
Last Epoch podcast with some of the devs and stuff. It should be really cool. It's actually the only reason I'm coming onto this podcast. Balor was quite upset that our first podcast together wouldn't be PoE related. So I was like, I've literally got less than 24 hours to fix this. Let's get on this real quick. And
the only reason, thank you.
So as you were saying, go next topic.
Well, I guess we should directly delve. I mean, there's a lot of stuff to talk about with the expansion. Do you guys want to talk more? Are you more passionate about the melee rework or about the league mechanic itself? I feel like both offers a lot to talk about.
It's not a melee rework. It annoys me that people say that. It is a combat rework. It changes. It's going to be amazing for melee, but it completely changes every single build. If you are a support character who only walks, you will feel completely different in 3.7 than in 3.6. It is a combat rework.
So I don't actually like melee generally. Even in other games, I'm always a spellcaster. Almost like you could tell from my name. So even then, I was instantly, as soon as I saw all the animation canceling stuff, I'm just yeah, that's actually fantastic. The melee rework is going to be so nice for all of my caster builds. It just looks fantastic. Animation canceling, except without cheating, which is my favorite part. They managed to do it properly without the whole, if you time everything perfectly, you can cut off a third of your attack and get in another one because you've cancelled it. But no, they fixed that problem of having to stutter step to get proper DPS out of anything. And it just looks really fucking good. It looks really good.
It does.
Yeah, when I started playing Path of Exile, I came just fresh from League of Legends, and that was my first in-depth gaming experience where I really tried to get better at a game instead of just casually dicking around. I guess I kind of went back to that now with Path of Exile, but anyway, it was something that I expected from a game to have, that you can cancel your attack and walk to the side, and it took me a lot of time to get used to Path of Exile's combat, how it was and how it still is, and I'm afraid it will be a big change. But what I'm really hyped for is also the fact that enemy attacks are not properly dodgeable. We all know that weird situation where an enemy swings at you and you walk to the side or even behind the enemy and you still get hit when the enemy finishes the swing. And now we're getting these hit zones that the enemy hit travels through rather than hitting everything in its AoE at the same time.
Well, the big thing on that as well is they're actually fixing the attack animations, because Jonathan was talking about how a lot of the attack animations dealt damage before the animation was finished. They would deal damage
when it was halfway through a swing and you'd get hit. Yeah.
So that's pretty big.
Although I feel like what Tarky said was slightly wrong, because everybody's calling it a melee rework, not because of the dodge animations, but because the main focus of this thing is a melee rework. Like every
balance
melee
wise,
gen, everything.
Like how last league was like the spell balance was.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
just,
that it definitely needed spells. Definitely needed some buffs last league.
No, it's just the thing which annoys me is it's people. I've had a lot of people telling me like you can't animation cancel spells. Like there's a lot of misinformation there because everything's just been called melee.
Yeah,
so it's like,
yeah. I mean, I still don't understand why people are saying this league is like breach. It like drives me insane.
Really? You don't think it's like breach at all? Now,
I think it's closer to ambush than breach.
Yeah, same. Ambush or essence.
Yeah.
Essence fits because, like,
Yeah, please explain
monsters.
how it's like breach.
Well, I mean, I see that
It has monsters.
It's definitely not.
Splinters.
It's definitely not exactly like breach, but it is. It's got some similarities.
It's purple.
It's purple.
It's purple.
I like it's.
There's
I don't know.
monsters.
You have to click it instead of run over the hand.
That's not like
you
breach.
don't get. Well, you have to
That's
click
more
it
like
instead of
essence.
run over the hand, which is like that's a very small difference. Either way, it's a starting point in a map, which is almost all of them, to be fair. But then also, it looks like it's going to have the same problems. Probably, we don't know this, but the same one of like if I'm in toxic sewers and it's going around a corner, I'm going to have them disappearing in a wall, or very like those same problems are going to exist.
The solution for that already exists in Betrayal. In Betrayal, and whenever you get a big fortification, it makes a whole new room.
Creates a new area.
So it can just make a whole new area in every shitty map and have the thing fight there.
That would be fantastic.
So hopefully that's what they've done instead of like
I would like it to be that. I'm not too optimistic. I wouldn't be surprised either way, to be honest.
Same. But like I feel the only similarities this has with Breach is has monsters, there's splinters, and there are breach stones, basically.
Yeah. So half the league.
Not really. It's like a very small fraction of it.
Well, the question is there like breach lords? Is there like big warlords? Say like the whole league is about
have the big armies, and then you like fight all the armies together. And that's the thing which has me most excited is if your build is good enough to run all of them at once. It'd be like imagine if you could run all the breach lords at the same time. Like that's insane. Yeah.
And so you reckon there's like one of each element, and then physical and chaos?
There's 5 armies, and the armies of slightly different theming. So like the Kurui army will probably be themed around fire. It might not be like explicit every single element is covered, but there'll be themings within them and monster types. And then you at the end of it, you get the like Kurui Warstone. You put it in your map device with the Maraketh Warstone, and then those two fight. And then if I could remember what the others were called, you'd put it in with those as well.
Templar is one of them. Yeah.
And then like the Val, I think, is one as well.
So do you think, for example, Maraketh, if there was going to be any that would be rarer, it would probably Maraketh. But do you think there's going to be rarities on them, or do you think they're all going to be fairly similar?
I would assume there's to be rarities.
There's got to be rarities on them.
Wait, you mean like the emblems themselves?
Is it's always 2 spawning at a time, so that should make it less obnoxious. In terms of it like being only ever Tull and never like the good ones, if you know what I mean.
I mean, it's the same. Yeah, it's the same amount as Breach, right? 5. So they could just do Fire, Cold, Lightning, Physical, Chaos.
It's mostly about like because they're from lore. How do you like warp the lore for it? Like the Kurui makes sense with fire. That's an easy one. But like Maraketh, what would that be like? Bleeding maybe, and then the Val. Lightning at a bit of a stretch.
If you go bleeding, then you just say physical.
But like they need to like
physical mobs that bleed.
Yeah,
it's fine. Know. Bleed's a physical damage type.
Yeah.
Do we even know all 5 of them? Why do I only know 4?
Lion Eye.
There's Templar, Kaoru.
You've got Val, so you've got the Holy Templars, you've got Kurui, you've got Val, and then we have Maraketh. 5.
That is, okay. Which one did I not know? Oh well.
But yeah, I mean,
think of 4.
I'm really excited for the league. I feel like a lot of people, whenever I make videos, I feel like people get really hung up on the one thing I don't like, which I'm scared of the monolith. Other than the monolith having like the potential to be garbage, the league looks really cool, and I'm really excited
I'm
about it.
surprised that you're scared about Monolith and not scared about... Because for me, it's like incubators are the one thing I'm iffy on, but I'm feeling very good about everything else.
Yes, but I don't feel like that's
if
got
the
anything to do with the
incubators-
league.
Right,
And if the
yeah.
incubators are bad, we can blatantly ignore them without really missing out on a lot of the actual content. You just
Yeah,
get
but
slightly less
okay,
loot.
so following that logic, with synthesis, if synthesis crafting is bad, you can completely ignore it, which
I did.
people
It was fantastic.
and then rage the fuck about it. I feel like if incubators don't go well, just saying, oh, but you can ignore they're not there, won't appease Reddit. You know what I mean?
But
Nothing
the way
appeases
I'm looking
Reddit.
at it is that the incubators have nothing to do with the league, right? They're just like them testing a new form of currency at the same time as the league.
Yeah.
Whereas the monolith is the gateway for the entire rest of the league. So like, regardless of anything, and this is something I feel like most people agree on, they really need to nail that. That needs to be fun.
I think they'll nail it.
I hope so.
Everyone I've spoken to who's like played it is like, yeah, it's lit. Like most confident ever. So I think it'll be good.
So, to quickly put things into context for the people who may not be familiar with what we're talking about, although I think everyone has seen the trailer, there will be monoliths that you encounter, and those monoliths will unlock like a conflict between like two armies, sort of, and you have to prepare to fight them after a certain timer, in which you will have to tag them by dealing damage to them, selecting the ones you want to fight, and then you have to do the entire thing. And Zizaran, you were saying your main concern with that is what exactly?
The main concern is that it's not going to be a fun mechanic to do, like repeating the entire league, because with a lot of things, like for example, Incursion was, I think, probably some of the most fun content, but a lot of people got very quickly bored of Incursion, even though it was like pretty fun, like the first week, first 3 weeks. Like there's lots of different types. There's like fun repetitive things, and then there are repetitive things that you're just like, oh my god, this feels like such a short chore, right? So if you click on the monolith and you're looking forward to every monolith, you're clicking on it, you're fighting the monsters, and that's great. That's exactly what everybody wants. But if you're like, great, now I have to like tap monsters twice, and there's like, well, this build isn't suitable for monolith, I might as well skip the entire league mechanic on this build. That's what we don't want, right? For what they showed in the video, that from when you click the monolith, it's 17 seconds, and we haven't seen anything anywhere else that is any indicator that we can fight them sooner. If I have to wait 17 seconds every time I click a monolith, I'm going to hate this mechanic, and I think a lot of other people will too.
See,
Now,
you're
well,
basically worried about the Harby thing, right?
Yes, yeah, it's the Harbinger thing all over again, exactly. And a lot of people, whenever I say this, they're like, "Oh, but this is you're a racer, and you have to go fast to win the race." But I'm never expecting a league mechanic to be either even usable for the race part. I'm always skipping it. I'm never like, whenever I'm talking about league mechanics, I'm talking about the Zizaran that does interact with it all the time once the race is over, and I'm sitting there like grinding it for money or for fun.
You get like 11 weeks after that.
Yeah, exactly, right? The race is only 1 or 2 weeks. So I never expect and never care about it being fun and good for the actual racing part, right? Like Synthesis was, and that was great. Well, later on anyway. But I don't know. I'm terrified of the monolith being 17-second wait every time. And there's obviously loads of ways to fix it, but I'm trying to be as vocal as I can about these are the potential things I see going wrong with this. And I want to be as vocal about that as possible. So even just for some reason, if they haven't thought about that, that they do go like, okay, you know what? Because I don't want another Synthesis where the first 2 to 4 weeks is dog shit and everybody hates playing the game and ends up quitting.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want that
like
again.
I agree, feedback is good, because I do the same thing every league. I always give my like what I can see going well, what I can see going wrong, and people who say you haven't even played it yet, it's like fuck off. But I think there's 2 like important things to take away from this league in particular. So if the thing that you're most worried about is a timer, then you don't need to be worried, because that is the easiest thing in the world to fix, because they just need to lower the timer. It's such a simple mechanic that even if it doesn't feel right, it's easy for them to fix. And it's like, you compare it to Harby, what do they do with Harby? They just turned it down a bit. Obviously, we want it to work.
Very long time.
Yeah, obviously we want it to work day 1, not day 10, day 20, day 30. But it's not like the scariest thing. It's more if the mechanic
it is, though.
I think I have to agree with you.
Especially right after Synthesis. This league needs to be fucking great. Everybody needs to be pogging.
Yeah. And
needs to be good on day one.
Mechanically, it's simple as fuck, though. So with Synthesis, they had this issue where it's like, okay, so Synthesis is this really fucking complex league, and we want to change it. Okay, how do we change it? Fuck. We need to, like, sit and work out every single... Like, you can't just push a fix with that. They had to think, what do we break by making this change? If the only issue with Monolith is it takes too long, if they cut 5 seconds off it, it's not like, shit, how do we break Nexus by taking 5 seconds off it?
The thing is, if it was just that, they could cut 10 seconds off it, and it still wouldn't be good enough for half of my... Like, see, if I have to wait 7 seconds, that's still going to be too long in a lot of cases.
Well, that's the thing. It doesn't necessarily need to be something... Like, the average player needs to enjoy it, not so much me.
Yeah.
Like, and no matter what the league is, just the melee changes, the just like all the like generic changes they're making, and a economy reset, that's already enough for me. I don't really give a shit about the league. Like, the base game is so fucking solid that it's hard for me not to enjoy the game, especially if I can play Cyclone again, because I missed that for a very long time. So they just need to make new players, and the average player needs to enjoy the game. And the more people are in the game, the better for me, because it's pretty horrible not to have anyone to trade with once I like want to.
But like the fix for that's easy. Like Carve already suggested this. You just like double click to instantly pop it.
Yes.
Like you can fuck with the timer. You can have it so like you click an extra time. That you had like the speed up button with Synthesis. Like there are so many ways for them to fix that. It's such like it's worth mentioning the concern, but I wouldn't get hung up on it because it's so.
I would after Harbinger. I feel like Harbinger was easy to fix.
You're right that it's going to be super easy to fix, but also I feel like it's super important if that is a problem that exists right now to fix it before it comes out.
Obviously,
I don't think a week in is good enough.
No, I agree. It's basically, okay, I'm going to hit you with a famous Tarky analogy. So we've all just bought a house together, and it hasn't got any working electricity or plumbing, and we're currently arguing about what color the cushions in our living room will be. And I'm kind of like, is this really what we're going to talk about right now? Okay, cool. Let's work out. I vote green, you know.
So this is the most important part.
I do agree on that. It has to be nailed, like, and that even if it's fixed, even if it's an easy fix and it's fixed within like 3 days of launch, we're gonna lose a lot of people. Just like with Synthesis, there's people that are going to quit the league because they don't get what they expect from it, or they're disappointed and they may not come back. I mean, maybe that was very strong with Synthesis, very pronounced, because there was a series of bad things, or like a bunch of bad things, but I'm worried that will happen again, and that makes other people leave as well. If your friends stop playing, if the people that you want to buy items from stop playing, if the league dies out 2 weeks earlier than usually, that's all reasons for people to stop playing.
And because of Synthesis, there's even more pressure, because some, probably even several people, are going to be going into this like borderline angry and being just like looking for an excuse to quit.
Oh no!
Like, if they're sitting there and like, oh, this isn't feeling good. You know what? Fuck it, I'm gonna go play World of Warcraft Classic.
I was actually going to say the biggest issue for PoE is Classic. Classic is going to destroy 3.8 because that comes out right around the same time.
I hope they delay it 1 week. If they release when is it, like 7th September or something, then it's gonna be like oof.
We saw the same thing with Legion. We saw the same thing with BFA. There's a lot of crossover between WoW players and PoE players, and then Classic is that to like such a next level extreme that even because like people say with Classic, like even if people only play it for a week and quit, that's a week they're playing that rather than something else.
Yep.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm the only person who has like zero interest in playing Classic WoW again.
Did you play original?
Yeah. And
Did you play it right?
Rather heavily. I rated rather heavily through Classic and Burning Crusade and all the way up to like the Panda expansion that I can't remember the name of that made me. That was like the end of it for me. But I don't know. There's just like it's nostalgia, and I had a lot of fun doing it. But I don't want to do it again. It's like a decade old.
I do. I'm fucking hype.
I'm not going to play it. Like I would like to, but I'm not going to play it.
One thing I wanted to note still before we move on from the Legion mechanic, the main mechanic with the monolith, don't you guys think that it could be offset by, I mean, if it takes long, would it not be possible to offset it by rewards in form of drops and XP? That in the end it's worth the time, or do you think it would just not be fun if it takes too long?
It's going to be worth like XP, 100%. There's no way that it's not going to be sick. This is the other thing as well. So when you feel slow, it doesn't matter if you're actually getting good XP per hour. So theoretically, this could be the best XP and rewards per hour, but because Ziz has to stand still for 17 seconds, he feels like he's wasting time. And you know exactly what I mean, right? Even if you know that it's like insane, it could be like more currency than Delve. It could be like the best thing in the fucking game. But if you're just standing there not doing anything, standing still feels bad.
Because you'll adjust to whatever reward is given. If every single one of them dropped me a stack of 10 exalts, by the time I've done that 50 times, I'm now just expecting a stack of 10 exalts, and I still have to stand still for 17 seconds.
I'm not sure I agree, because we already have this in the game right now with pure breach stones. Although,
which are fun the first
actually,
few times
yes,
you do
you're
them,
right.
and
I'm
then
getting bored of that really quick.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right. But still, they're
The
doing.
only reason I liked pure breach stones more enough to do them for more than one day is because I had like a stupid amount of quantity, and it wasn't really pure breach stones. It was just pick up loot everywhere. And it made a lot of money. That's the only reason I was doing it. I didn't really enjoy it after day one. It gets boring.
I think it will be fun. I think it'll be a lot of fun. I'm personally very optimistic about it. The most like degenerate playstyle I could see from it would be just farming the armies. Like that could turn into Beachhead 2.0, Breach Stones 2.0. Because you'll have the people who are just playing the maps, enjoying the mobs. Basically, it's like an extra incursion every single thing. Let's fucking go. This is sick. But then there will be the guys who are just like farming the armies, just buying it on trade.
I hated
farming.
beachheads.
And that might be
so much.
People, people are going to set up rotors because it's the most efficient way to do that kind of gameplay.
Yeah.
And it's fun the first, I remember the first time I did a beach and I'm like, this is so sick. And then it was like, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
The 11th time you do it.
Definitely the 100th as well. It was not fun.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many things to be excited about this thing though. Like just the way that we can combine like armies and stuff.
So cool.
It just looks sick. As so cool. I'm really excited for the league. I think it'll be great.
And it's not just combined too. When they first said it, like right at the beginning, I was like, I'll be able to pick any two armies. And then they're like, no, you can pick as many armies. You can put all 5 of them in there. And I'm like, whoa, okay, let's go.
We actually spent please.
The only thing I'm terrified about is I put 5 armies in, and 4 of them have killed another one by the time I get to that one. And I'm like, oh my god, where's my XP? God damn it, Mareket annihilated the Templars, and I just lost all of that shit. That would be hilarious.
I hope they really don't do that much significant damage to each other, that they could be battling for 10 minutes
if they kill
without
each other's
dying.
Bosses. Imagine if they could kill each other's bosses and you just miss the boss loot. She's gone. Too slow, you lose. See ya.
No, we actually spent 10 minutes figuring out on stream with the 200 IQ notepad plays that it's 26 combinations in total. I was really surprised at the fact that there's just as many combinations between 3 as there is between 2. Which is really weird, because intuitively I thought it needs to be more combinations with 3 different Legion emblems than with 2. But for every 3 that you put in, there's 2 that you don't put in, so it's exactly the same number. Apparently.
Yep.
Is Carv in chat? I'm going to need someone to fact check that for me.
Yeah, I'm not smart enough for this.
Yeah,
dude.
yeah, no.
I'm a Twitch streamer. This is not what I'm made for.
Whenever this kind of stuff happens, I do one of 2 things. I either see if Carv is streaming or I see if Uber's streaming. I then ask them, and then I talk about it on my stream. That's how it works.
Well, anyway, these end games that we work towards, it's one form of rewards. Then there's also the incubated rewards or incubators that you already quickly mentioned that we're going to go into. And then there's also Legion jewels, which are going to be insane.
Yeah, they look like a balancing nightmare.
Yeah.
They're not
It's
going to be
incredible.
balanced. I mean, they're not meant to be balanced. They're meant to be broken.
Yeah,
Watch your
there's-
size.
It's the whole point of
2.0.
them. Is they're meant to be like disgusting.
Yep.
Do you think
The
they're
thing
all
which
gonna be
is-
good?
No.
Yeah, the thing which was apparently Mark confirmed this on Reddit that you can divine them and it like
Yes.
changes them.
Yeah.
So yeah, that
So
means
they're all
broken.
good.
They're all good. Yeah.
Because and
can
divines
divine
are going to be worth significantly more than maybe. It depends on how often they drop, but
No, but
yeah.
out of like 10 Watcher's Eyes that you get, and I'm aware that you can't divine Watcher's Eyes. I mean, you can, but you can't divine their roles in terms of what auras they affect and what bonus effects they grant. But like there's so many bad Watcher's Eyes, right? So there must be also like pretty bad Legion jewels.
But if you got a 3-stat and you could just divine it and it would re-roll the whole jewel over and over again,
And
it would not be hard to get a
You also need
good
to remember that you have full control over where you activate it. So let's say that, for example, I need to route between like Shadow and Witch on my tree, but there's nothing really that good for me in that part of the tree. It feels really weird having to route there. You slap the jewel there, suddenly that routing's worth it for you. It fixes bad parts of your passive skill tree.
See, the joke's on us because 1 or 1.5 months into the league, there'll be a post saying like, "Oh my God, Uberdan found the first tool."
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, how rare are they, and how rare are like jewels that actually make the passive tree portion that you want to improve good? It's maybe really hard.
I wouldn't worry about like how hard is it to get a good jewel. It's just about how rare the jewels are.
Yeah.
Because if the jewels are super common, then great, everyone's got broken as shit. If they're super rare, then they're worth so much, they're worth divining to be good. So, yeah.
That's interesting. I wonder how that's going to turn out.
Yeah,
exciting
we can't
as
really
well,
see
like-
much.
Are there just 5 different ones, and then you can divine each to each, or
Yeah.
they're super confusing? Huh.
I think there's one for each legion.
Yeah, it's one for each army. Yeah.
And but they haven't announced at all how the other ones work, other than the Val. The Val one we've seen several uses of, and new passive keystones that it turns the keystones in the passive tree into. But we don't know what the other ones do. They may work in slightly different ways as well.
But that's what I mean. If I divine the Val one, does that change to the Templar one, or
No,
a
it's
different
always
version
Val.
of the Val
It's always
one?
Val.
No, so the way I
You'll divine
understand it,
the
there's
seed.
5 different jewels, and each
Yeah.
of them have a different set of things
Yes.
that jewel could do based on the number of souls listed as
Right.
on it. And divining will change that soul number to something else, giving it a different seed. So any of however 5 different versions of the Val one that can exist, you can just divine between them, but it'll just stay a Val.
That's definitely going to become a question mark league with that. That's
There's
what
just
I'm
going to be a
looking forward to.
spreadsheet that says it's
Mark
got everything on
GGG.
it.
What's
like
going to
day
be
2 and
really,
there'll be a spreadsheet.
really good about that is you're going to have people who are like, okay, so I've just watched this video and Ziz is using the Val jewel. Okay, cool. So I bought a Val jewel. Ziz, why doesn't it do what your one does? Well, my one's
no.
actually Val jewel 5,389. How do I get that? Well, you want to divine for that one, or you need to buy that one? Okay, well, you don't need that exact one, though, but some dickhead's gonna like, no, I need that exact jewel, otherwise my build doesn't work.
This has actually already happened to me, surprisingly. There was a player that came into my chat, and he opened up with flaming me. He was like, "Zizaran, you're a fucking shit streamer. Your build guides are worthless. I just
Agreed,
followed
yeah.
your Cyclone guide, and is the worst build I've ever played, and I'm never watching your stream again." I was like, wait. Let me take a look at your build. I can fix this. And in my build guide, I was using a rare 650 PDPX called Havoc Splitter. He was also using a rare axe called Havoc Splitter. But his had 162 or something PDPS, like 90.
Yes.
And
Did
he
you
was
vote
just
this
like
guy?
running around with like a wet paper stick doing no damage. And I was like, oh my fucking god.
Oh, that's fantastic. He found a weapon with the exact name as your weapon.
Good. I like that guy.
Yep. That is literally what happened. So, yes. Same with like Ventress Gambles and stuff. Whenever I'm using Ventress Gambles, I feel like in the Sunday roast, I always appear somebody with like a -10 quad to Ventress Camel, and I'm like, oh no!
But it's got good res. It's got more res than yours.
One thing I wanted to still ask about the Legion jewels, has anyone like read or seen, is the seed just the number, or is it also in the name of like, so this Legion jewel of the Val, right? Glorious Vanity says bathed in the blood of 5,173 sacrificed in the name of Doriani. It's just the number?
Well,
Yeah.
there was a slight, what I can only assume is misspeaking in Ziggy D's video about it, because he said you'll be able to tell based on the flavor text. And I'm not sure whether he meant the number that can be divined, or whether the flavor text will change when you enter a new bracket.
Gotta remember poems and shit.
Instead of...
almost... I'm just going to say with 100% certainty, even though I don't have 100% certainty, with 100% certainty he meant the number. The logical way this would make sense would be that Doriani is the leader of the Val army. So, if, for example, Vol for the Templars, it'll be blood of 5,000 sacrificed in the name of Vol. Or like 5,000 sacrificed in the name of... it's Hiri who's in charge of the crew, and it'll be like that.
Okay. Well, I'm curious to see what the other ones do, because I think because they're unannounced, I think there may be some really, really sick interactions that are very different from the Legion of the Valju. Possibly. Maybe they're also all the same and they just exchange notables and passive stones for other stats.
Just a quick thought. What about Unnatural Instincts of Might of the Meeks when you're making disgusting passive changes to things? Yeah. Especially how some of those change seems incredibly powerful. And there's plenty of places I can put 2 Might of the Meeks over the top of it. Like there's going to end up being some ridiculous passive tree shenanigans.
Are we assuming that like Unnatural Might isn't already pretty like broken?
I mean,
if you take these super rare, super broken jewels, you can make these really strong. It's like, oh, okay, cool.
Well,
yeah, but then if you can double the passive strength of something at base and then put them on, you get to the point where the people are running around without gear on at some point.
And apparently Mark said they can't be affected by other ones anyway, so yeah, that's whatever.
Oh, he did?
Apparently.
Really?
According to Twitch chat, and Twitch chat knows all things. So, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I always trust my Twitch chat.
Twitch chat's great. One thing which I really love is Twitch likes to tell me what devs said in interviews, and I'm like, I was the one who interviewed them. I know what they said there, dude. Like, I've had people trying to like tell me like what Jonathan said in his last podcast. I'm like, interesting. Please educate me more on this.
Like, I was there. Excuse me.
Awesome. Well,
yep.
I don't know actually about all you guys. I know Zizaran is an avid melee player, or at least in the very first days. Have you played any melee in the past, Tarky? I actually don't remember.
I used to only, and I mean only, play Cleave. I'm talking old school Cleave racing back in
Not just melee, just Cleave.
Cleave. I was like Cleave Big Daddy. And do you want to know why I was Cleave Big Daddy? Because that's what fucking Crit played. And I used to cleave like a bitch. And that's what I used to do for ages. And then I used to play a lot of, back when you used to be able to do like max block, max acro things, and like iron reflex every build, I used to play a lot of like max dodge block face breaker builds. And then they kind of like killed all of that. And then I went only bows, and I only played bows for a few years. But yeah, I've been wanting to go back to melee for a while. It's just, I found the meta of it pretty boring. So I'm looking forward to that being spiced up a bit.
I'm really looking forward to play Cyclone again. I think there was one league at like 11 or 12 Cyclone.
Okay, this Cyclone looks so much better though. Like, the area is fantastic. It's cute. Like, I really want to play Cyclone.
Keep in mind that the demonstrations you're seeing are fully maxed out AoE demonstrations.
Are they?
Yes.
I know we had Ink AoE in the gems because we could tell that.
Like if you watch the Bay class where he shows like the level 1 cyclone, it's like normal cyclone size. Like they've buffed the AoE a little bit, but it's like normal, and then he's like plus weapon range 10, and then that looks like what they show in a lot of the trailers for cyclone. So
what kind of weapons was he using in the demonstration? Because we've seen that they've buffed the weapon ranges and some base types.
He literally opened the command console, was like editing weapon range in the thing.
That's why I'm asking what base he was using, because you said he was giving weapon range plus 10. So just to put that into context,
he was
because
using a mace. He was using a one-handed like level 2 mace.
Okay, that's like 5-6 base range.
Yeah. There's also like there are more ways of scaling AoE now, because we have like sand, which gives you AoE, and then probably some new shit on ascendancies, because I'm sure Slayer's just gonna have like a shit ton of AoE on that.
Well, they're also rebalancing all attacks, so probably giving them some base radius per level or something like that.
Probably they'll probably do what they did with like spells, where they kind of like normalize mana. They'll probably like normalize AoE a little bit, but I wouldn't expect it to be that crazy. I think that's actually one thing which like. So backtracking to the Monolith thing, the main thing which I find iffy about Monolith is I looked at that and thought, oh, Tornado Shot's going to be really good this league, because you just like Tornado Shot once and you hit everything. And then in a lot of their trailers, they're showing the guy doing like the Blade Storm, like spinning around, walking, spinning around, and he's like taking 20 minutes to get around the whole pack. And that's the one thing which scares me a bit, because when I saw the melee thing, I'm like, dude, I'm going to play Cleavy. I'm hyped to play Cleave. But I'm like, do I really want to like Cleave, walk 10 foot, Cleave, walk 10 foot?
Oh, you want to instantly leap slam.
Yeah.
But yeah, that could be a bit. And then you've got, how does like ED Contagion work with it? Is Righteous
That will either be like the best thing or the worst. I love how it will literally be like broken or dog shit.
Yeah. And like, is Warp gonna target them?
Yeah. So what was the question exactly that you asked, Jonathan? You asked, if I can level in a fresh league with Viper Strike and Claws, will that feel good?
And he said, if the answer to that is no, we fucked up.
Do you feel like they've overpromised on that?
I feel like they've opened themselves up to be memed so hard. Like, that is such a good, like, you just take that soundbite, you take the clip, and you just, like, fucking play the clip. It depends, because it depends on who said it, right? So I said it. So they can be like, look, Tarky, I've watched your fucking stream. You play some shit builds. You'll be happy with that. It's not like Rise said it, you know? It's not like Ziz said, oh, am I happy to be racing with Claw Viper Strike at League Sun? They said, if we can't do that, then we failed. So, you know. As long as it can, like, kill all the content and it feels okay. I mean, like, look at, like, Mathel, for example. Mathel's done how many build guides where he's, like, cleared everything with Glacial Hammer, and it's, like, it's good enough. You know what I mean? If they can make it feel like good enough, then it's fine.
Good enough to the average non-Mathel player.
I wonder. I'm like very curious how it'll end up.
Are you going to start with Viper Strike now after saying that?
I feel like it would be really good memes, but I don't want to fucking play Viper Strike. I don't want to make myself play a build I don't want to play just because it'd be spicy. Although it would be good to, like, you know, my first video of the league is, Jonathan, you lied to me, and I'm like on my level 70 Viper Strike character, so like Act 2, can't get past anymore. I don't know. I am really excited, though, since we're talking about it. The fact that every single weapon type is going to have a support gem, that is like the biggest thing for me. If they get that right, that is so huge. So if anyone missed it, every single weapon type will have its own support gem, and if it's mechanical, not numerical, you're like, I'm going to play Claws because I like the way that Claws feel. And having that, like, this feels the way I want to play it will feel so good. And then Ziz could be like, dude, I really want to play axes because I've got my whole axe meme, but actually I really like the way that maces feel, and having to make those decisions, I think, is sick.
The only thing that slightly concerned me about that is there's quite a lot of builds where you could use a claw and a one-handed weapon, right? Like, you don't have to now, if you use them or if they're good enough that you really want them, you won't be able to mix and match things anymore at all. Even if your attack can use both classes. It's a minor thing, but it's just...
But you also need to think about there are so many good support gems anyway that even if you are using like an axe and a sword, it's not the end of the world to be like, oh, I'll just use a different support gem.
Yeah, that's fair. They are extras, not replacing anything.
Exactly. They're not like saying, oh, we've deleted multi-strike and replaced it with this. We've deleted Ancestral Core, deleted Pen. Like, there are so many choices it comes to now. If they can make it feel like, for example, Spell Cascade and Unleash, like if Daggers has like Unleash, for example, and you're kind of like, I mean, it's a fun support gem. It's not really the best, but I just like the way it feels because it's fun. Fuck it, I want to play a Dagger build. Let's go. That's the kind of thing that would make me want to play melee, because then it'd be like, oh, so daggers are really cool. Okay, what melee skills can I use with daggers now? So then you're playing those skills. Since it's been like Molten Strike being like the best for such a long time, that's made melee really boring to me, because it's just like I'm playing with any weapon and I can use Molten Strike on anything. So it's like, who cares? You know?
That's actually a fun one. Varanastras, just dual wield them and use all the new support gems for all
Yeah,
the one-handed stuff.
But Varanastra isn't like super powerful compared to the rares
so
we can make.
It's so slow.
So it might feel really bad.
I'm feeling really hyped though that it's going to be the weapon that you use is more of a decision than just, you know, the skills that it's compatible with and the passive tree points that it's compatible with, but they're adding like a unique way how different weapon types are going to be played.
And it's going to make routing builds really interesting as well. So it's like all four of us could be playing the same skill, but because we're using different weapon types, that completely changes how we route our tree. And then that completely changes our gem selection. And I think that's awesome. I think that's really cool.
There's so many cool changes coming.
I can't wait to actually see all of the gems. I really just we'll all be a little bit disappointed if they're just numerical damage.
If they're just numerical damage, then
damage with axes.
Fuck them.
Like, okay.
No, that'd be good though, because they could be like, it's 39 with axes, but it's 40 with maces, and it's 43 with claws, dude. They're all different.
That would be devastating.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen, but that'd be very sad.
Yeah. That will always be a most efficient. Like, exactly. So people saying it's most efficient. That's why it should be mechanical. So even if on paper axes are the best, if maces feel more fun, people will play with maces because they prefer how it feels. There are people very happily right now playing dog shit skills because it's their favorite, and it's like that's the underdog to them, so they always play it. You get the guys who always want to play the underdog skill because it makes them feel good about themselves. So if like swords are the underdog in 3.7, then they're like, I'm gonna only play sword builds. You know, that's cool.
Yeah. I mean, there's going to be a lot of potential for replayability anyway with them reworking all the early boss encounters and the combat mechanics. So it's going to be interesting to re-roll new characters and try different skills, for sure.
Or even like the same skill but 10 different ways of different weapons. That's cool as well.
Man, I really need to see these skills. I really need to see the gems.
Actually, you know what's really exciting? So with all of this in mind, Ziz, what winter orb build are you starting 3.7 with?
I know. So I really want to start with Cyclone. I really want like Cyclone to be good enough. I'm scared though. Like, what are they gonna do? I mean, to be fair, they could just remove shotgunning from Winter Orb, and then Winter Orb's dead, and we don't have to worry about it. That's what I hope they do. Because I think my favorite analogy so far for Winter Orb in Path of Exile is like in like either like a game like Chivalry or Mordhau, that you suddenly add an AK-47, right? So what do you want? Bow, sword, AK-47, right? So hopefully they'll remove that. And a lot of people have been joking about, Cyclone Cast and Channel War, but they're both channels, so that doesn't work.
Cyclone Cast will channel Cats, though, on the other hand.
That does work.
That will work. I'm definitely doing that at some point.
I still haven't gotten my check for that. I don't know if it got lost or something. But,
It's definitely on the way.
Yeah, it's on the way. It's good.
Yeah.
Should we talk about incubators, sir? Because we just get like hella distracted.
Oh right, yeah, completely went out of that. I even tried to segue into incubators with summarizing the different rewards we get. Yeah, what about incubators? Incubators are these little items that we can incubate an item with, or add an incubated item to an equipable item. So basically, we can just put it on our gear. We collect a number of kills, and then the reward drops.
Unique belt.
Wait, can it be League exclusive,
slot,
or is it
guarantee that it's going to be unique belt? And then the last map, you open up a Nemesis map,
and then you get a Worm's Mold.
No, you get 10 of them because you have 10 for every slot of your gear.
Yeah.
And then you reapply 10, and then you open another map, and you reapply another 10.
Yep.
That's the bit that I'm really excited for.
I like the idea, but I'm worried that it's going to be like, oh, I've got 2 that are 500 kills and 2 that are 2,000 kills and 3 that are 5,000, and here's a 100, and there's going to be so much micromanagement there that I'm just not going to do it.
Does it really matter though? Because in the end, like you don't have to do anything with it, right? It just randomly drops and disappears from your item.
You keep right-clicking them or like putting them on your gear, though. It's going to be like Legacy League Stones all over again, which I hate.
You don't have to do anything with sextants, but apply them. People still don't like applying them. It's the same shit.
But there's still, like, if it's just like 700 or 800 mobs in a map. Like, if they're 500 to 1,000, if there's a bunch of those ones, that's like, some of them will pop at the end of one map, and then you've got to reapply those ones, figure out where they were in your gear, reapply them. Then you run another map, and all the 1,000 ones pop, and you've got to do them after that map. And then there's the 5,000 ones that won't be done for 7 or 8 maps, and just I don't know.
Who cares? It takes 1 second to click. So my first reaction when I read it was like, sick. This is so cool. And it's like the more I think about it, so it's kind of like. Right now, to do prophecy, all you need to do is click, like, seek, and that's it. People don't like doing that. They find that annoying. And it's one of those things of you need to have them in your inventory, open your inventory, right-click them, and right-click onto every single piece of gear. All right? Fuck that. I don't know.
I'm just hoping there are enough of them that are large counters, because then it'll be worth it to me. Like, if they're
like they could have it
20 or 50,000
ones, like the ones
then...
that... Like, if it drops in Act 1, kill 50 mobs. If it drops in a Tier 16 map, kill 10,000 mobs. Like, there's easy ways to do it.
Yeah, but if it's 10 and 20,000, then it'll be... If I can get them that big, then it'll be great, because that won't be micromanagement on a small scale super often. It'll be like, I'll run a bunch of maps for a while, and then be like, oh, hey, those popped. Lovely. Now I get to reapply them, rather than now I have to reapply them.
Also, to respond to MD, because fuck MD, so he's like, oh, I find it funny that Taki doesn't like this, but he doesn't mind waiting for 17 seconds. The reason why I don't mind the 17 seconds thing is it's easy to fix that. Whereas incubators, I feel like it's the kind of thing where it could be scary to change. They're not going to halfway through the league be like, oh, you can only have 2 equipped. So that's why I think it's much scarier to get right or get wrong. It's like, I had the silly suggestion, so this was actually Grimro's idea. Grimro was talking to me about it. And he was like, they should have it so you can overcharge them. So it's kind of like, if you want to, you could just like pump the fuck out of one of them to like, get more interesting rewards out of it. So then I started thinking about like Tamagotchis. I made a stupid video where I've like drawn different pretty eggs and stuff. And, like you could level up your eggs and all this other stuff. But yeah.
Do you guys think we'll get them in abundance, or you think maybe there'll just be like a rare kind of reward? Because the concerns that you presented, they're just present when we're oversaturated with them, when we have so many that we always want to keep them on our gear. But if we generally have less than we kill monsters than we can have our gear, then maybe they're not that bad. I mean, I think it depends all on how common they are.
I think they're going to be super common. I think it's going to be like League Stones, where you're going to end up having 1 or 2 quad tabs, maybe 3 quad tabs at the end of the league, because it's added incentive for GDD to make as much clutter and make things as horrible as possible when it first comes out, and then you can later fix it, right? Because when they later fix it, it's like, oh my god, they finally gave us a map tab. They finally gave us an essence tab. Yay, we can buy this with our money and stuff like that.
It won't take that much space because they stack to 100, which is why I think they're going to be plentiful.
Yeah,
that's why I think they're going to be everywhere, because they've got a stack size on them. And you
I
wouldn't,
agree
if they
with
were going to
what
be
Balor
rare,
says.
you wouldn't have a stack size. You wouldn't
Okay,
bother.
generally with all the other things, like fossils.
What Ziz said, but the complete opposite. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt that this incubator system will be at least if it's not rewarding enough to be worth the micromanagement, it will be okay to just ignore it, I hope. Or maybe I can trade them away.
So
maybe
you
there's
just
other
said
people.
that you're confident that if it's not a good system, you'll be able to ignore it.
Well, exactly.
That's a very bold prediction. In a world where they're not worth doing, I think I can ignore them. All right, sick, dude. Like, all right.
But they're always going to be worth doing because it'll
It's
be
just
like
free loot.
sextants.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at all the people ignoring sextants. They're just poor compared to the people who are doing them.
So they shouldn't be ignoring them.
Everyone should be doing sextants. Yeah.
Well, I mean, don't tell everyone that because I don't get enough for myself and I need to buy them. So if people aren't selling sextants, then I'm in trouble.
One thing I'm really curious about, and I think this will completely dominate Legion, that div card they announced yesterday, which gives you the Nico Scarab.
Uh-huh. Wherever that is, that's my new favorite map.
Yeah.
Don't know where it is. Quarry farming for sulfite again, except a different way now.
I really hope I don't end up back in Quarry, dude.
What if they put it in Dig? Because that's Quarry, just the map.
Yep. Then Dig's my new favorite map.
I think Maliki just points it out in chat, and Don the Crown was also hinting at it, or interpreting the divination card design as incursion related. So maybe they're incursion temple drops.
Maybe, but then I can't farm them. Not reliably. What am I going to do? Get a bunch of Alpha prophecies and just run that all the time?
It seems a really weird thing to add it to something that you can't farm, because the complaint with this stuff is like, we have this content that we want to focus on and we can't focus on. It's like, okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to give you a div card, which lets you do it more often, but you can't focus on it. You're like, all right, cool.
Wait, I mean...
The whole point of div cards is so you can deterministically farm for an item. So then if you can't deterministically farm the div card by having deterministic access to Alva, then it's a shit div card.
Well, there's still prophecies and stuff for Alva. I mean, I was doing a lot more temples now in the synthesis flashback than I wanted to.
So you're like, okay, so someone says, Catmaster, I want to do Delve. How do I do Delve? All right, it's simple. So what you need to do is, right, you need to buy up silver coins to run prophecies to get Alva. Now, they won't always proc, but when they do proc, there's a chance you can get a div card. Now, you need to keep collecting sets of those div cards, then get scarabs to then run on your maps to then spawn Nico.
So that you can sulfate, with which you can then go into the mine.
Then go do Delve,
Yeah. Yeah, that's got to be on a map for sure.
Well...
Probably.
I don't know. I don't think all divination cards are target farmable. Some are just like bonus stuff, icing on the cake for, some things. I don't know. Some of them are only... I can't come up with a good example, but the House of Mirror cards in Hall of Grandmasters, do you consider that target farmable?
Yes.
Yes?
Yeah.
100%.
Absolutely.
Because it only drops in Hall of Grandmasters. So if I want that thing, I go to Hall of Grandmasters, and it's really easy to farm Hall of Grandmasters.
It's also a cheap map to buy, yeah.
Like, people literally make characters just to farm Hall of Grandmasters. Like, what?
Like,
but
I never do that. But yeah, people do it all the time.
I think it is going to drop. If it's not going to drop an incursion, and I'm not positive that it will, I think it'll just drop in any like mine layout.
Yeah, that's what I would predict it to be.
Also, with that Hall of the Grandmasters, there's one guy in hardcore every league who, up until like last league, I played softcore, but before that, like every league, I buy my Hall of Grandmasters completion from the same guy who always makes a character that's designed just to farm Hall of the Grandmasters. It's like the only thing he does. He's been doing it every league for years.
It's really good.
I just buy it from him every time.
I think I forgot to buy one this thing. But that's the thing, right? Like the bonus isn't that. I think people overrate the bonus a bit. I never feel like having one more or two more makes like a massive big difference because it's nothing to do with map drops. It's just like a small chance for a +1, and only when a +1 can drop. So
that last bit's the bit that most people miss.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
Still can't give you a +1 map.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter how good it rolls. The white mobs in your map will only give you that.
It's good
tier.
for like whenever a tier 13 was going to drop and you're in a tier 15, so it goes even from a white mob to tier 14. But I don't know. It's so easy to like maintain maps right now, anyway.
I think that I don't know if you guys get this idea as well. It kind of feels like Incubator was like it was someone's idea in the office, and like, cool, let's just add it.
It seems very out of place with everything else.
Yeah.
Like, I'm interested to see how it goes. It's definitely like a new kind of system that is definitely interesting.
Chris said it was his idea on Reddit. Yeah.
But it definitely
I really
feels
like it
out
in
of place with
Pokemon.
the rest of it.
I don't like it here. I'm not a big fan of it.
I think if they get it feeling right, it will probably be one of my favorite additions to PoE. Because I love div cards. I think div cards are really cool. And I think it has the potential to be like another layer of like div cards.
I think div cards are really cool, but have been used like really badly. I hate a lot about div cards. This is one of the few things me and Noogie agree on. Because I hate div cards for boss drops. Yeah. It just kills me. There's so many things that should never be.
I agree.
A div card like
Watcher's
Starforge.
Eyes.
Yeah, Watcher's Eyes, Starforge.
Yeah.
Out of all of them, Watcher's Eyes is probably like the least problem I have. But like Starforge, any form of boss drop, even a Zeri's Promise, should always just be from the boss. That's the entire point. Now, if they changed it, so say the Starforge card only dropped off Shaper and never from Diviner boxes, then I'd be like, this is a great solution. It's like a pity card. And that's fine.
You didn't get a Starforge, but you get 1/8 or whatever the hell it is.
Exactly. That's like the perfect use for them. I hate when it's like, you see like Starforges, which is, like regardless of melee being in a good spot, and obviously like they're pretty cheap, but like it's still one of the more powerful items in the game. And at least if they weren't from like something available on day one, just from div cards, then maybe they'd be slightly more expensive. Like, that makes me really sad.
Watcher's Eyes are the ones that bothered me the most. But when they showed that card, that's exactly what I thought was going to happen.
Yeah.
I thought, they're going to put this card in, and they're just going to make it like a 50% chance to drop from your Red Elder or whatever. And it'll be like, so if you go long enough without getting a Watcher's Eye, you will be getting Watcher's Eyes through the cards. And I was like, that's a great idea. And then no, that wasn't, because I think they only drop in. Do they only drop in Abyss stuff now? Yeah. But that's not where you get them all from. You just get them out of the box.
From Diviners, exactly.
Yeah, they just come out of Diviners. That's it.
Somebody in chat said, but then most people are not able to farm his own Starforge instead of paying billions of chaos, and they shouldn't be.
Yeah.
It's a boss drop. That's the entire point of bosses. For items, those cool items.
If you can kill the boss, you get to farm it, and if you can't, you get to buy it. That's
the entire point of bosses.
I feel this a lot more because I've been running private leagues since they've come out. So it's been like small economies, and it feels so good in those where there's that guy like, I am the only guy farming this boss, and that's like their thing. So then when other people are randomly getting his elite through div cards, it's like, lol, have fun with that,
Are they that common that it's really a problem? Because I'm that's the first time that I've actually been like that I see myself confronted with that, or that I think about it like that. I mean, I think I had that concern when I saw the Starforge card announced, but I never thought about it again later because I don't usually farm bosses and I don't usually play builds that utilize that kind of gear or flip items. But is it like if you look at the market of Starforges, how do you think how is the ratio between Shaper drop Starforges and div card Starforges?
There's no way to tell, is there?
The main
item level.
Item level is one, but you also need to remember that with most div cards, most people will sell like half of a set. They don't complete the full set, then sell the sold item.
Yeah, Ember is saying it's 90% from the cards and 10% from Shaper.
Which would not shock me at all. Like, not even remotely close.
Let's see. What's
That
the div card
sounds
for
accurate
Shaper?
to me.
The World Eater. Let's look on. I don't know.
No, that's sad then, because I thought if it's just significantly less, then
For
it
the
would
guy
be okay.
asking, yes, they'll still be uploaded on YouTube. Don't worry. But I'm sat on a div card. I don't know what to do with it. But I've got a div card that I could make. But it's such a scary thing to make, though, because you don't want to make anything which gets invalidated by a patch, and you never know what they're thinking.
Yes.
You never know what they're thinking with the system.
Yeah, I took me a long time to decide what I wanted for my div card, and I still have a second one I can make, and I'm just like, what's gonna be eternal? And I feel like for those of you who don't know, my div card is the Undisputed, which is a Valax with Merciless, and it's Elder, so it's got open suffix. And that's aged pretty well, I feel, because now it's gonna be super popular. This thing.
It would have been worthless for a little bit, but it's going to be worth decent. It's going to be pretty useful next league, I imagine.
Well, that's the thing. So it's mostly something I made that card for myself because I already had a really good one-hander, but I really wanted a good two-hander. So I was like, I know, I'll make this.
Make a div card I can
still don't have
farm.
one. It's really hard to craft 200 axes.
Yeah. But it's the choice of, do you make a meme div card and the meme will be eternal, or do you make a useful div card?
Is there any though where the meme is eternal? Even like the life armor, which is like the most memey one, it's like So the best div card is the Void, but that's not actually made with a divination card token. It was made with a unique creation token.
Yeah. You know what? I'm thinking it's a really boring div card, but it's a div card we need. A full stack of alterations. That would be such a fucking good div card. And it doesn't exist.
For those that don't know, there's not a single divination card created by Grinding Gear Games. They are every single one made by players.
Okay, I didn't know all of them.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know they were all there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I knew players were making them. I didn't realize we'd made all of them.
Yep. Pay $1,000 per card, basically.
Jesus.
Okay, who made the Wisdom Scroll card?
It says on the wiki for most of them. Let's see, PoE. What's it called again? The
Scholar.
Yeah, Scholar. Yeah.
The Scholar. Let's say.
No, but
the card has not yet been assigned to the creator who wishes to remain anonymous. I would too.
That's choice. I'd do the same thing. Good choice.
I mean, like, you look at someone like Rich J Money, he was like, I want to make a troll Mjolnir. Like, some people just have enough money that I just want to fuck with people, dude. I just want to make a shit fucking item. Yeah.
I actually like the Scholar. I mean, there's way worse cards. Scholar's at least useful. Like, the Life Armor card is completely garbage. Either it's like made as a meme or just somebody who doesn't understand the game and just wanted to support it.
The outcome is just like a huge range, and like 99% that you can get from the card is a bad roll on a bad base that you don't want, or like one of the both, which is already bad enough. But I've had a friend, and this is very anecdotal, but a friend of mine, back when divination cards were introduced, I think with 2.0, his first turn-in of a life armor card, he got a 5-link chest piece with a decent life roll. And we actually thought for a while that 5 links would be likely from those, but it turned out.
See, that reminds me of there's a friend of mine, Mr. Walla, and he had, I think it was a steel ring or an opal ring, and he was using essences to craft it. And on his first essence, he got a really nice ring. Like, he sent me a Discord message about it or something, and it must have been like a 5, 7, maybe 10x ring. But he didn't need it for his build, and he thought with essences, it was always good rolls. So I woke up, I sent him a message being like, oh my god, you should definitely at least sell that. That's worth like 10x. But I had his stream open. While I said that, he tapped into Discord, and I saw him just like slap his own face really hard because he had rolled over that.
Oh, that's
It's
great.
great.
That's
Yep.
painful.
That hurts.
About the whole thing about GGG taking a different stance. We've heard earlier that Jonathan said on the podcast with TarkeCat that if they are not able to provide a good experience, a league starting with Claws, Viper Strike, then they have failed. And that's one of the two things
No,
that
they fucked up.
fucked up. Okay, did he literally say that?
Yeah, you said that.
Yeah.
Okay. They also said something else. He also said somewhere in the podcast that the game was getting too easy and that they're looking forward to, now that they're providing more ways to outplay the enemy with the new animations and the animation canceling.
In his opinion, which is a very important caveat because he added that in there himself. But yeah.
Oh, okay. So that may not be the opinion of the entirety of GGG.
Yeah, that's the important part of that. That's what he thinks about it. Yeah. But it's not like the stance of the company or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So, but do you think with them reworking early game encounters like Kuduku and Tail Rake, you think we'll see a fairly higher number of early game rips in hardcore? You think it's actually gonna take lives?
I mean, if shit's harder, more people will die. It's not really the point of it, though. The point of it is just that they're trying to modernize PoE, and people get very frightened of that word, but they want someone brand new to Path of Exile coming in now to be like, wow, this game feels like it was made in 2019, not wow, this game feels fucking old. Because one of the biggest issues that PoE has is PoE feels great once you've let it feel great. But when you're level 1 with no abilities, no movement skills, and it's dog shit, and you've just got like Spectral Throw, and you run out of mana, and you're like, wow, this is fun. Like, that's not fun. And they're making the game fun, level 4 movement skills, making the game feel more impactful, making the animations feel better, making it look prettier. They've said for a long time that like the early acts don't hold up in their opinion. And they've put all of this time and money into Act 5 and Act 10, and whether you like that or not, like it visually feels impressive, and you're like, oh, cool. So they then need to go back and make the earlier ones feel good. A good like just anecdote for this. So my girlfriend played Path of Exile for the first time ever, and without her telling me what she was doing, I could instantly know where she was at by how lost and confused she was. She's like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I don't know, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, so you just got to Act 2. She's like, yeah. She didn't know where to go left. She didn't know where to go right. She didn't know like what to do with this act and this thing. She's like, I've got this annoying, like this stick. Okay, I've got the stick. Right, so now you need to go, and now you need to get the Baleful gem, and now you can do this, and then you need to help the bandits, and yeah.
Yeah. I could see Act 2 being super confusing the first time you go there.
Yep.
Act 2 is an awful. If like, I really like Act 2 now because it's like I know what I'm doing. I can mix up. If I want to go left, fuck it, let's go left first. Let's go right. Like it's kind of fun. But if you don't know what the hell you're doing, there are so many roadblocks in that because Act 1 is basically completely linear, and then it's like okay, so you've got to go all different ways. You need to work out where the bandits are. You need to go like off the track. Like it's quite easy to completely miss Chamber of Sins if you're just following the road. Like you're gonna go like up and left and off to nowhere, and then you've gone all the way left the first time. Now you're back in Act 1, and you're like, wait, why am I back in Act 1? This is a head scratcher. And then
For me, what always threw me off in the early game is getting to prison before you get Flame Dash, and all those skeletons standing in the doorway, and you're like, I just want to get, please. And it's
they're fixing that now.
Yeah, you get a move skill. Like if you get a dash and you can just get through the doorway, that's going to be golden.
It's also easier to move through enemies because of the changes they've made to pathfinding.
Yep.
Oh, right.
So for racing?
I feel like people are really sleeping on like the fact that they've changed like unit collision and like pathfinding and stuff. Like that is big.
Yeah, something like they can go diagonally on the coordinate grid now or something like that is what I remember.
Yeah, which is huge, but also perhaps more importantly for me, Freezing Pulse might be able to fit through a doorway now?
Nah, I doubt it.
No. Let's
You
not
doubt
get
it?
carried
You don't
away.
think so?
Let's not get carried away.
I have no faith.
I would really like Freezing Pulse to fit through a doorway, please.
So I think the issue with Freezing Pulse is, I think it checks collision across the entire animation. So if at any point of the animation hits something, it fizzles out.
I don't necessarily think that's true. I think the point is that it spawns. It has a spawn, like a physical thing that spawns in front of you and then goes from there. If that is at any point interrupted, it just won't spawn.
Oh,
There's
just
a
like
couple of things.
sparks.
Yes.
Like where you stand in front of even with the threshold jewel that sparks in a Nova, you stand in front of a trunk or like a wall, then you spawn the sparks in the wall instead of in front of you, and they don't come out at all.
What is really funny, guys, says it in chat, if one of the patch notes was all doors are bigger, that would be such a big buff to so many skulls. They just buffed the size of doors.
That would be nice. Or automatic doors. So remove doors entirely. Ooh.
Yeah. It feels really weird that we have automatic doors as part of the tech, and it's not in the fucking game. It's so weird.
Yeah, it seems they really don't want to give you that quality of life unless it's in time-critical content like incursions. They did it also in Synthesis, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that really fucks me up because it took me a long time in Synthesis to get used to when stuff did and didn't open and like all of that stuff. Because you're like, oh, cool, I don't need to open the door now, and then you just like walk headfirst into the door for 5 minutes. Like, why isn't it opening this time? Huh?
It's sort of like a reward for getting to the new endgame. It's like you are ready for automatic doors. Congratulations, Exile.
I think this is what they should do. They need to, when they revamp everything, they literally add like a quest where you kill a guy and he gives you a key which automatically opens doors. I would be fucking in, yo. Make it a unique helmet like with some magnetic theme tags. Shit. Okay, GGG, if you're watching, can I trade my div card for like a make a unique card? And it's just like you have a magnetic pulse around your character. You could have magnetic support. So the support in your party, his only function is to open doors. Fuck yes. Let's go. Yes.
So you can shake your atlas around indoor maps.
Good shit, dude. And then if you have 2 of them, then they like repel and they bounce off each other. So you can use this like PK people by like pushing them into shit they're not meant to be in. That'd be good.
You're making bumper cars.
Yeah. Basically, in 3.7, I want to add Tamagotchis and bumper cars.
It would probably be more successful than the current PvP, so...
I think the only thing that I'm really upset about is that incubators didn't come out during Bestiary. I'm really, really upset about that.
That'd been cool. Yeah.
That would have made so much more sense.
Literally Pokemon League.
I mean, they basically are, like, Uberly tweeted at me saying they basically are Beastcrafts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't know if they can be cross-league, though, because Bestiary can be on their own without, like, being in a Nemesis map. These might not be able to.
I hope they either can... Well, no, I hope they can, because otherwise I'm just going to want to micromanage it into making sure that I open a Nemesis map at the correct time. That's going to be slightly annoying. Whereas if they just can drop anything at all, then you don't have to worry about that part. Or more likely, I'll just ignore it anyway, and I'll just drop them on my gear whenever I remember. And get whatever drops and not ever care about trying to get into an Nemesis map. I tend to just not to do those things.
Yeah, I wonder how much people are going to like them, because just so many of these in the past have been not very welcomed.
I think they're going to be lit. I'm just worried they might not be. But I think they're going to be good. It's kind of like, when someone's like, dude, I just made this like really cool sandwich, and they throw something fucking weird in there. They're like, oh, and it was like chocolate and mayonnaise. And you're like, why? But then you kind of like, actually, I could kind of see that working. That's how I feel about incubators. It's kind of like, oh, this could be really cool. Maybe not, but the more I think about it, the more I think they could be cool. I'm just worried that they could feel fucking awful. Oh, yeah.
So you're just completely undecided then.
I'm confident. I'm confident in GGG. Basically, then I'm confident in GGG, and they seem so fucking confident about it that either it's a fucking amazing system, like it's a really good system, or no one wanted to tell Chris, actually, this is a dog shit system, and we shouldn't add this. I think it's going to be good, though. I think it's going to be good.
But I think that GGG are very, very able and very willing to deliver quality features, quality leaks, quality expansions. And I think that a lot of the bad experiences that we've had in Synthesis or in other leagues were just due to the fact that they underestimated it, like some sort of complacency. Game is going well, we'll focus.
The issues wasn't that. The issues is they had last-minute mechanical changes. Last-minute mechanical changes destroy leagues. And
Synthesis.
Synthesis completely changed.
Yeah, I mean...
They completely changed it last minute.
Like from the announcement to the launch.
Yes. It
Stuff
completely fundamentally changed. They're locked into this. They're like, yeah, this is what it is. Like, this is it. It feels good. Like, we're happy. This is that. So the fact that they're like, yeah, this feels good, makes me confident.
Yeah, no, I remember Chris saying on the game developer conference talk that he gave about Path of Exile being designed to be played forever. Excellent talk, by the way, guys. Check that out if you haven't.
That was really good.
I remember him pointing out that they had like a lot more time prototyping this one. That they've been, changing and reiterating on it and refining it. And that makes me very confident.
I think they were only like a month in or something when that talk happened. And he was like, we've already got a working prototype.
Yeah.
Like the version 1. And they were like a month into the league.
It's still, 3 months out? 2 weeks out? 3 weeks out? 2, I think.
Yeah, about 2 weeks.
Yeah. I don't know.
Which is slightly too long. They draw out. They draw me out for so long, and all I can do is think of new builds for the next 2 weeks that I can't plan or do anything on because I don't have the information I need.
Is that what one of the discussion points which made no sense to me was countdown timer too long? Is that what you mean? You feel like they announce it too early? Or is
no, that was in regard to the monolith. That
right?
was,
okay, that makes more sense. Yeah.
That was a valid point of criticism that is present and that we wanted to talk about.
Yeah,
however, I do still feel like they announce stuff a little too early sometimes.
I don't mind.
I'd say the complete opposite.
Yeah, I don't mind like the announcements. I think they've been pretty good so far. There's been a few times. There was one, I can't remember what, but there was one expansion that got announced and released and hyped 3 days into a league start, and I was like, "What are you doing?" Like,
fuck! I remember that. That was bad.
Oh, which one was that? That happened.
I was so angry about it.
It was Ascendancy, I think.
Yes.
Ascendancy or Ori, I think I can't remember, but that got announced literally 3 or 4 days into league, and I was like, "This is the worst." Marketing disaster I've ever seen. Just like,
was that during Talisman though? During Dark Shrines?
Yeah, I think it was 3.0.
It was 3.0. Yeah, it was 3.0. Yeah.
I don't know. It was announced like, really badly.
I just started. Why are you hyping me for a league I can't see for 3 months?
It was so weird.
I'm pretty sure it was during Dark Shrines because I didn't play Dark Shrines because I wasn't at home. I was traveling.
They've done this multiple times. I remember talking about this on Baycast. So it was
Dark Shrine. They started the race season 4 or 5 days into the league, and I was like, "The whole level 100 push on Dark Shrine isn't undone yet." And like, hello, what am I? So that was like really bad. But no, that was horrible. I feel like they should start, especially if this league's early already. I feel early patch notes would be so nice.
You can't do early patch notes, man. That shit is done so to the last minute, so to the last second.
Is that a good thing though?
Does it have to be though? Like, if they're this far in front, could they not give us it a week early? If they're far enough.
So this is the thing, though, right? This is the thing. So let's say that you're GGG, and we know they do this, right? It's like, oh, we're 2 weeks ahead of schedule. So like, what can we fit in these last 2 weeks? Because that's what they're like as a company. They're like, oh, we've got 2 more weeks to work on something. Cool, let's add something else. I think that's why we have incubators. They had a prototype working so early for this league, like, oh, we've got time to play around. And then Chris is like, "We got ages, dude. This is a sick idea. Let's throw this in the mix." And then like stuff just kind of gets like thrown in. So if they are like 2 weeks early, let's just throw out patch notes. And then they're like, all right, what more can we fit in? What more can we fit in? What more can we fit in? And then no.
I would love to like see how some of these ideas are hatched, because I can just imagine Chris on his phone during a meeting and just like, guys, check this out. And then he opens like Pokemon Go and he does like, this is like eggs. Pokemon Go eggs.
No.
We need this in our game. This is a fantastic idea.
I'm telling you exactly how it happens. So he wakes up with his morning and he checks his favorite content creator, TarkeCat, on Twitter. He's like, what's Tarky been up to? Oh, he's been playing this game. Ooh. And then he has a little think. Then he watches his favorite episodes of Bay Class and Faded Connections. So, ooh, let's have a little think. And then he's like, oh, should I watch this stream now? What's Balor up to? And then he has a little think. Then he goes back onto Tarky's Twitter to get his daily fill of cats. And it's like, yeah, this is a good league idea. Let's go. That's what he does.
Oh, it's definitely the bad timeline.
100%. Best timeline, basically.
Wait, where did he get the idea for the eggs in the timeline?
I don't know.
He was making
I was waiting for it.
He was making
that
omelets.
was a breakfast while he was checking on his...
Yeah.
Right.
He was checking my Twitter game, dude. He was happy. He was feeling happy about life. He was on my Twitter. He was making some omelets. And there's like, eggs, happy, incubators. Let's go. Yeah.
I'm going to dress up as an egg for the new league.
That's a good cosplay.
You've said that now.
And then you go to ExileCon as a chicken. So that's it, hatching. Yeah, that's good.
And Balor goes as a duck.
Oh my god, maybe that...
Did we just crack Mathel's cosplay?
Yeah, I was thinking that. I'll do an egg and Mathel can be a cock. Or a hen. Something like that.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I thought that was funny.
I actually couldn't figure out what Mathel was going to dress as, but now we've figured it out. That's it now. Easy.
He's got quite a few options. He could do an egg. He could do like a caterpillar or a cocoon.
Oh my god, I really want to see a Mathel caterpillar.
He could be a farmer, because like it's just a farm looking after my chickens. He could go like full centurion and dress up as one of the legions. You know, he's got loads of options.
Yep.
Mathel pillar. Just like, and it just like have somebody else like control the camera, and he's just like, you know, like a cocoon on the ground, like wiggling. That'd be great.
Okay.
Just like doing that, like.
We've clearly depleted the amount of material that we had to talk about with the Legion League so far. Bex, please, more teasers.
Oh
man.
I'm only going to be thinking about cosplay for the next, however long this goes on for. I'm just thinking about like different cosplay options.
You could dress as a monolith and be Mathelith.
No, dude, he should cosplay as Alkaiser for Melee League. That'd be sick. League start cleave? Yes.
Oh, that's... Yep.
Yeah. I like to think that he's at home with a whiteboard having to cross off ideas. Oh.
Well, can't do that. Can't do that. Those are some bad ideas. I hope he's got something better than all of our ideas.
Hey, I'm dressing up as an egg, hopefully.
How do you even dress up as... The only way to dress up as an egg is to buy an egg costume.
You just use my haircut.
Yes,
like you can't make... Like, how do you can't dress up like an egg without just having it look like an egg. Like not look like an egg, having it just be an egg costume. You can't just make shit like that out of the clothing that's real clothing.
Costume. Oh my god, these are great. Oh, I want that one. I'm definitely getting that.
Wait, what? You're googling egg costume?
Yeah, I'm gonna send. I don't know if we can show this somehow, but I definitely want this one.
You can post it in chat. We can all click it.
Yeah, I'm trying to like
post
find
it in chat. I can open it on the big screen.
Awesome. Yeah, I want this one. Oh,
Oh, nice link, dude.
Oh, that
Wow.
chat. Wow.
okay. Wait, this is a DeviantArt.
Wait, you're VIP
Um,
and you can't. Oh yeah, okay. Images Wix MP. What the fuck
Okay,
is that?
post it in Discord. We'll work it out.
No,
Okay,
no, I
wait,
have it. I have it. I'm professional, guys. I'm using a chat where I can see the band.
This is like the
messages.
guy who's like, "Hey, can you want to look at my passive skill tree
No,
real quick?" And he just nukes chat with like the
Yeah,
massive
it's too
paragraph.
long. Even if you can see the band message, it's too long. It's not a real link.
I want this.
What? Wasn't this the one that we're showing right now?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, okay.
Where are you gonna put your arms out?
I'll use my face.
He puts the keyboard inside the egg.
Yes. And the mouse. Oh my god, that would actually be great. I really want to see if I can get this costume. Here's an egg costume for a school art project for wearable art.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you how you do this. This is actually really easy to do. So you just make a paper mache like cone, and it literally just goes over your chair, and you just cut it off so it stops like there. So you can still play as per normal, and you just have that like hovering there over your chair. And if you want to, on your top bit here, you could have a piece of wire, and that's the top, like that's the hat. Easy, dude. Easy.
I wonder if Mischief is gonna play this league. Forehead.
Oh my god. Yeah. One last question about the league. The preview of boss fight improvements in Path of Exile that was posted a day ago. Did you guys spot anything at all that except for the reworked Cowards trial and the fact that the phase bosses like Kitava and Innocence now seem to have more ads and also rare ads?
I mean,
Yeah,
that's fantastic.
Is it? Is that gonna make a difference? But they don't seem
Have you done
like.
Desert Spring?
We get more flash charges.
I guess.
Desert Spring is so good on map returns that I was able to, without doing stupid heavy investment, with just an average amount of investment, I was able to maintain Elder Desert Springs indefinitely with all of the Guardians unlocked.
Yeah.
So Elder Desert Spring was giving me enough Guardian maps to keep running Guardians and not run out of Desert Springs. So I could just do Desert Springs all day and then do Uber Elder and then go back to Desert Springs.
You forgot to mention the fact that you had to do the boss.
Yeah. I had to do the boss. It's because of the ads in between the two like boss fights. That's where all of the maps were coming from. Like 70-80% of all the map drops came from that.
It's
if
a band-aid
these other bosses
fix,
are getting
but
the
it
same
really works.
treatment,
I feel it the same. I felt it the exact same way last week.
Yeah,
it's not an elegant fix, but it works.
Like Elder Desert Springs map sustain was so good I could maintain Eldered maps while having Guardians unlocked.
I mean, okay, but I think part of the problem is even if there's more ads and stuff, that boss still drops fuck all. I'm like never excited when killing a boss in PoE. I don't feel like it's a good
that's
solution.
a completely different issue there.
Yeah, I had to run the whole boss fight to get the rewarding content, which was the path between the two bosses.
So
that's where everything dropped.
The issue with boss loot isn't boss loot. The issue with boss loot is dog shit in Path of Exile. Bosses drop a lot of items. It's just items in PoE aren't worth picking up. So until they do a loot 2.0, which I imagine will come with 4.0, then there's boss that loot will never feel good. So they'll completely rebalance loot. Because the way that loot works currently is ridiculous. Like, it's completely ridiculous how loot works. And it lags the game out.
It feels like they're generating a lot more than they need to, for sure.
It's beyond excessive.
I wonder that's going to include a rework to animate weapon.
Yeah, they've spoken about this before. They've spoken about this multiple times in dev interviews on Bagelast. We want to fix this shit, but animate weapon, fuck animate weapon. They need to just delete it.
It was my favorite minion build. Animate weapon in Breach was so good and so much fun. I loved that.
Oh no, that build was so degenerate, man. So
I love that.
So fun.
You only
thought
it was
6-man chalupas.
You only thought it was fun because it was broken. You didn't find the gameplay fun.
No, I still enjoy it. I still enjoy anime weapon now.
It was fun. Yeah. I would have played Animate Weapon since then if any of the League content actually let me drop weapons on the ground enough to play Animate Weapon, but they don't, so I haven't. It was a fun build.
Okay, so I can't argue that. Yeah.
Abyss League wasn't problematic with Animate Weapon. I mean, yeah, you'd have to go into the site, but you'd have enough weapons ramped up by the time you'd get to the boss. It was a face boss. I mean, I didn't play it, so I'm not 100% sure. But I did play a fair share of Animate Weapon before Breach. Always the elemental kind before Breach brought that insane item with which you could do the poison minion build.
Also, one time when I was playing Animate Weapon, I accidentally animated a 6-link corrupted axe instead of getting a divine orb, and that made me laugh a lot. I was like, "Ooh, a 6! Oh no, it's gone! Oh."
And that's why I played with Castman Channel and not a totem.
I did. I was on Castle Channel.
Then it's all on you.
Yeah, it was my fault. It's fine. It was Wither, I think.
Yep.
And it dropped in the pack I was already over, and I saw it. I didn't let go of my button quick enough, and I saw it drop. And I was like, "Oh!" I'm assuming it was corrupted.
Yeah. Out of interest, Cat, and just to like help you out a little bit, what melee skill are you most excited to play?
Probably as a League starter, Cyclone, Castwall, Channeling, and then, I mean, with Arc, and probably as a Trickster so that I don't have to have mana in order to use my main attack.
I mean, Cyclone's going to be 2 mana, so...
Do you think? That's actually something that I wondered, whether Cyclone is going to be like the other channeling skills, insanely cheap now. Will they take all the mana pressure off of Cyclone?
Didn't we see it at 2 mana cost instead of 12?
I mean, yeah, thinking about that, Jonathan was sustaining Cyclone at level 38 with no gear or passives.
Yeah. He just hit the level up button a bunch, but hadn't applied anything.
Yeah.
And was just...
Did he make support gems though?
No, but if you
still,
don't apply anything, you can't do that now. Not even close.
It has such a high mana cost currently, isn't it? Like 12, 16 or something ridiculous.
Yeah, it's very big.
It's 12, and I think it was 2 in the... I'm pretty sure when he moused over Cyclone, it had 2 mana. I might have made that up.
Nice.
I'm pretty sure I didn't, though.
And there's also, like, on the skill tree, there's, like, the minus mana cost of channeling skills as well. And those are just, like, generic increased channeling damage, not spell damage, I believe, so...
Although I like that Cat's first answer to what melee skill are you going to play was actually, like, how am I going to use melee to apply my spells?
Well, it was a 2-part answer. My first answer would be that as a League starter, I'm excited about, because it's part of the melee rework that Cyclone becomes a channeling skill, in my opinion. And I'm just going to abuse the fact that it's a channeling skill and see how good that can be. And then I'm also really excited to try Glacial Hammer, but I'm afraid that it will not live up to the expectations that that Jonathan has.
Wild Strike is the one I'm excited about. That's
Wild Strike's always been a cool skill.
Yeah,
I've never
I really
liked
want Wild Strike to be good.
It's got a good sound effects as well. Punch.
Cyclone's obviously pretty good, but...
Do you want to guess what I'm going to list on?
Oh, whoa. Viper Strike Claw?
Essence Drain Contagion Trickster. Going to be litty, fam.
Have you thought about trying a Viper Strike Claw build?
If they show something cool about Viper Strike or Claws, then I'll do it just for the memes. But like, it's one of those things that if it is bad, I'm gonna feel. I love Jonathan so much. Like, Jonathan's genuinely my favorite person. He's so like lovely, and I would hate to be like, you were wrong. That would hurt me. It would hurt to be like, shit, dude. Didn't feel good, you know.
So you're saying that you have no faith in him?
I have faith. I don't want to disappoint Jonathan. It's not that I'm worried he'll disappoint me. I don't want to disappoint Jonathan.
Someone's going to start with it in your chat if you don't do it. And then they're going to show up and they're going to tell you it's really bad.
Or they'll tell me it's amazing.
Yeah.
That's one thing that chat likes to do a lot. Like, dude, you should play the skill. It's so fucking good. And you're like, oh, really good? Then you try it out and you're like, that guy doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about.
Your version of really good and my version of really good are two different things.
Yeah. I'll never forget when Spectral Shield Throw came out. And that was the guy who made the really fucking bullshit Reddit. Like, ugh, I worked it out and everyone else is so stupid. And his gear was absolutely insane. Like, he had ridiculous mirror tier level gear. And his video was awful. Like, his clear speed was so terrible. And the whole time he's like, you know, I worked it out, but all these streamers couldn't work out how to press right click. Oh. And you're like, okay, dude.
I remember that.
Hey, it's great if you can make yourself feel good about a build that is not as good as you'd like to think.
If like Jonathan said, Shield Throw would feel pretty good. I would actually like to play Shield Throw if Shield Throw was cool.
Hey, they also said that shield charge is now scaling with shield damage in a similar way.
Shield damage,
right?
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which at least means it'll go with Spectral Shield Throw if Spectral Shield Throw isn't still garbage.
It was such an awkward skill. Like, it was so finicky with the animation and landing it on enemies. If they like changed, well, they've buffed Fork and Chain. It could maybe be a thing. I'm mostly excited for the Ascendancy changes more than the skill changes. And the little teaser they showed us with the Rage Bar for Berserker, that got me going. Something special. The fact they're starting to utilize custom UIs is big. Very, very big.
Yep.
Wait, but isn't Rage like a global mechanic now? But can't everyone
It's
get
a global mechanic, but it's still tied into Berserker and some fact. But
well, it's tied into Berserker because Berserker is the only one who can utilize it to lose life and gain extra power, right?
He basically has super rage. You know, it's kind of like how Pathfinder is like the poison ascendancy. You know, it's kind of, it's got like Berserker with the rage ascendancy. You know?
It'll be interesting to see how it works for everything.
Yeah, I have to say I was super worried when they first introduced these very specific, awkwardly specific synergies, like Pathfinder getting the Herald of Agony interaction.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
I don't like it.
I don't like it.
Well,
But turns
fortunately,
out
the
that most people-
Pathfinder is one is dog shit, so that's why it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
because it's really bad.
Yeah, I was gonna say that no one uses Pathfinder Herald of Agony. Most people play Herald of Agony on Occultist or Juggernaut, right?
Because the big like supposed upside of the Pathfinder is that the decays at half the rate or whatever, but it doesn't matter because you can sit at 35 to 40 on single target on anything, so decaying at half the rate is irrelevant. So there's no point, which is fine. But I don't like the idea of tying any skills to my ascendancies. Because you get two options: either the ascendancy itself that's supposed to buff that skill is so garbage, like the Pathfinder one, that it really doesn't make a difference.
Yeah.
Or it's so good that it's the only way to play that skill because you'll have to balance the skill around its extreme use case here, or you get something stupidly powerful compared to everything else. If it's directly tied to an ascendancy, you're stuck there.
Fun trivia, and I could be completely wrong, so feel free to correct me, Ziz. You were on a Bay class, and I was complaining about this exact thing, and you're like, "No, you're wrong, Tarky. It's fine." And I was saying how I didn't like how certain ascendancies were like pushed into this one playstyle, and it was to do with like totems. And I was like, I don't like how like Hyro's the totem ascendancy was you and Havoc. Like,
no. That sounds like something we would agree on because I've always been against that because I love like Firestorm Witch and stuff.
Yeah, it was such a long time ago. It was like
I mean,
ago or something.
Melee Witch.
Melee Witch?
Yeah, I haven't been on Bay class in a long time.
No, it's been a while.
Did you just say Melee Witch? I'm sorry to interrupt your moment of.
Melee Witch is great.
Yeah,
you can make an occultist attack build next day.
It's just that she looks so cool with a two-handed sword.
She really does.
Right,
it's literally just dragging the sword. It looks sick, dude.
Yep.
I would
love to have like occultist.
Hope they keep that for the reworked character models in 4.0.
Oh yeah.
Probably not. Probably not. So,
you know, they could sell like a Naruto run for Witch so easily.
Oh god, dude. I hadn't even thought about that. I hope they never add that level of microtransactions to the game. That'd be awful.
You don't want to be able to buy like a different character model or
No.
standing animations and things?
See, I would like it if it was done if I was in control of it, I would like it. I don't like how flashy the MTX and PoE is anyway. I've spoken about this so many times. So I've spoken about how I find a lot of our MTX very like weeby, and then I get the people in chat who get very offended by like, well, actually that's a Roman-inspired set. I don't know what you mean by saying it's styled after Eastern MMOs. It was when the Innocence Wings and stuff came out. I'm like, this feels very like Eastern MMO to me. They're like, Tarky, this is clearly Roman inspiration. I don't know what you mean by weeb. They got very, very irate. But I like old school, original, like washed up on a beach. You put a random like hunk of metal on your chest piece. I really like, says the guy who made Celestial Cats, by the way. But like,
I got a point.
it was such a good idea, dude. I didn't like it, but it was a good idea. But anyway,
You said it was gonna happen anyway, but but someone had to do it, so you might as well.
Exactly. But it's one of those things where one of my favorite sets that came out recently was the Huntsman set from the loot box. I really liked that because it's like such a simple set. But the Madcap one, for example, I hated. I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
Too out there. So if there were to be like, selling standing animations and it's a guy like a bit sassy, like just leaning to the side, I'm cool with that. But that's not what it would be. It'd be like a guy doing fucking backflips instead of walking. And then like Sharon would pay like $1 million to have a fucking little like angel talking on his shoulder. And like, oh, you're so beautiful. Let me stroke your sword, and you drink rock gut and all that cringe. And you know, I hate Onigarashi with such a Oni-chan. I hate that so much.
I've never played with that sword, but it was a fun little coincidence that on the demonstration on your show with Jonathan that he actually spawned Uber Hillock.
That was fun, yeah.
Can I read you the flavor text of Onigarashi?
Onigarashi? Feel free to.
Okay. Your name is Demon Slayer. Really? Good name for rock gut, that. She said, I prefer the Goddess of Swords. Much more dignified and accurate. Demon Slayer, the cheap and nasty it is then. Burns going down, burns coming up. She said, every single time, Sharon, and still, you'll bathe me, and you'll drink my love, until you can't.
Lore Omega Hall.
That's in PoE, dude. It's so bad. I hate it. I hate it so much. So
well,
yeah, that's
there's
why...
Rogue Exiles that are called Onetrix and Kirmes Olli, which is like both German weird
I've never
words.
read that before.
It's bad, isn't it? It's.
I thought it was fun to level with that weapon once because of all the sassiness it gives you, and then I never put it back on again. But I never read that flavor text. That's so bad.
Yeah. Maybe that's what my div card should be. It should just be like competing for the cringiest flavor text. I'm like, GGG, make whatever you want. I just need to like out cringe Oni-chan in terms of flavor text. Do you think they would let me make a div card and the flavor text like retcons Onigarashi from the lore? I like the idea of like some weird arms race. You just get two people like making items trying to shit on the other person, and it's just whoever goes broke fastest wins.
Okay, that escalated quickly.
Making my divination card a corrupted poet's pen, and making that the image. I was going to request that the image would be like the quill was dipped in like the head of the girl on the non-corrupted one.
The one that's stabbing.
Yes. That's good. That's good. Yeah. I like that.
That is good. That's actually great.
I don't want to make a poet's pen card.
No. But if you were gonna, that's definitely a good way.
Awesome.
I was worried they would think it was too toxic.
No, I think that's fine. I mean, you already have like the doctor and the patient and the nurse and all that shit. So.
I don't know.
Med student next.
Yeah. I'm looking forward just to the diseased.
Oh no.
It's 1/8 of a med student. It's 1/8 of a nurse. It's 1/8 of a
Med student.
Diseased or deceased?
Either or, I guess, could work. The deceased could be a bricked headhunter. It's a corrupted belt with the headhunter art. That'd actually be pretty good. That would be really good. Oh, fuck, that would be such a good thing, dude.
That's actually great. Like, it has to end up being
That's a glorious troll.
not a headhunter anymore, but just has the art. That would be so good.
Oh, shit. I really don't want to make that, but I should make that.
Wait, you know what the best part of that is? It'll come out of the void.
Yeah. Oh. Oh, fuck. I really don't want to make that. That'd be such a good div card.
Don't think we can so far. I don't, because that would open up the opportunity to make alt art skins and things. I don't know if they'll let us.
I don't know, but it'd be goddamn funny.
They'd let me.
Would they?
I think they would. I think they would.
I think so.
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
It'll cost him his check.
Yeah.
Damn.
Got it.
All right. Does anyone still want to share build ideas for the league start, or are we all going to wait until the patch notes?
Waiting to
Patch notes went.
Patch notes when? They usually come out 2 days before, right?
Yeah.
2 days.
The Wednesday before the Friday league launch.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, is it 2 days for you guys? 3 days for us, somehow. Comes out on Wednesday.
You're in
here.
the magic time zone there. It's literally perfect. You're like, I'm gonna wake up at a normal time and like check the announcements. Meanwhile, we're like still in bed, like just post it so I can sleep, dude. Just swipe on your phone.
Leagues
As
start at
if you
6
could
a.m.
sleep after patch notes, dude.
No, but like, don't you have that where it's like you're in bed and you're like, oh, it's 1 a.m. I should really be sleeping, but they're gonna probably post a link in Reddit in like an hour, so I'm just gonna stay up just to see what it is.
No,
Awful.
I just go to bed and see when I wake up.
I would like to apologize in advance, Catmaster, for derailing your podcast and reading the Onigarashi flavor text. That's very rude of me. I'm sorry, dude.
It was perfect. It facilitated a very interesting discussion. So I'm grateful for that, and it also seemed to be the perfect complement to get us to the 2-hour mark that we were striving for.
Easy,
you know, with the lack of incursion content, bullshit Legion content to talk about. Incursion. Oh man, I really liked Incursion. I hope that Legion is going to be as polished as Incursion was, and that the passion for Legion is going to burn a lot longer than the one for Incursion. But
I don't think there's anything wrong with having disposable leagues, as long as they're meant to just be disposable. I think that if this league, 3.8 and 3.9, are just they're fun for a month or two, you throw them away, that's fine. We just want to be kept busy till 4.0.
Yeah, that's what you think, but I think the way that GGG works, obviously they're aiming to make content that they, in some way or form, can then put into the permanent game or
that
reuse.
Has been what they've done, yeah.
They don't even know what they're doing. Like, they keep saying, like, we don't know what we're doing for 3.8, we don't know what we're doing for 3.9. Like, they keep saying, like, we don't know. Like, impressed.
Yeah, like, they know what's going on for 4.0.
They're like, we know what's happening in 4.0, we know what's happening now, we have no idea what's happening in the future. If you compare that to, like,
I
Syndicate,
don't buy that.
They might just be bullshitting, but like
they have
that
a
was
bunch
so
of concepts. They just haven't picked one yet. I'm pretty sure. Sure that they have like a shelf of leak ideas that they can pick from, even if they're not fully worked out, but at least some rough sketch of what it could be. Has to be. Please don't take my illusion. Yeah. Was really good. Thank you guys for coming. Is there anything you want to still say? Do you want to give a quick explanation to the viewers where they can find you and what they can see you do?
Be like Chris Wilson and follow me on Twitter.
You've planned that all along, right?
My name is TarkeCat. You can find me at... My name is Zizaran. You can find me at Zizaran everywhere. Hopefully in the descriptions down below, because spelling it can be hard.
After you find me on Twitter.
What,
Yes, do
spelling
that
can be
first.
hard? Oh, okay. I thought reading was hard. But it goes both
Rating's
ways.
impossible.
Real talk though, I'm like 42 followers away from 4,000 followers on Twitter.
Pog.
So I'll notice because I'm really close to a level up.
Okay, listen. Last time I saw someone say something like that, it was
They
this,
dropped.
and then when he refreshed it, he lost followers.
I'm gonna go unfollow right now.
just saying.
Easy, dude.
But yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Hey, thanks for coming on short notice. Also, I mean, same
On very
to Tarky,
short notice.
a little bit longer notice, but it was also just something we threw together in the past week. It's not planned for a long time. I'm pretty sure you guys all know Balor&Mage. Balor&Mage you can find everywhere at Balor&Mage as well. And he also likes Twitter followers. I think. I heard that. And I'm the cat master. You've seen me in countless rip clips this league in Gamer for Life, so probably
Pretty sure
know
I
that
got them.
already. And we're gonna work on another one. We're gonna after killing my character to being busy on my mind with the podcast. Now I'm gonna do something with the explodey mace and with the Calm's heart that I still have lying around in my stash. Hopefully.
Nice.
Do you think that's fast enough if I just cyclone with it, or what? Is there anything that I can do with the Panquetzalitzli, or what is the name?
Wait, what's it called
I
again?
thought you meant like a shaper exploding
that
mace.
explodey mace.
Yeah, I thought you meant shaper
Yeah.
exploding
I thought you meant
mace.
Shaper Exploding Mace too.
You can vendor that one.
Yeah,
That's-
I agree.
It's a guaranteed explode for 10% of their health is physical.
No, it's
Wait.
not. You've got to kill something first.
Yeah, how are you
but
gonna
it's
scale damage?
unconditional on
Abyssal
kill.
Jewels? Well, why wouldn't you just take the guaranteed 5% from a Shaper one?
Because I don't have one.
Oh.
I died before I could. I was too confident. I stopped picking up loot on my old character.
How are you gonna scale the damage though? Just like Abyssal Jewels?
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it's just, just elemental increases, AoE damage, all that sort
I'm
of jazz.
so glad they're nerfing Abyssal Jewels, by the way. I'm so happy about that.
I really like them, but at the same
It's
time, they are way too
busted.
strong. So, way too strong.
It's very confusing to me because I feel like the perfect solution for Abyssal Jewels was that they can only go in gear.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That makes way more sense.
Yeah.
But
Then they couldn't be this powerful, and then they would make sense.
Good point.
Feels bad.
Man.
Well, on that note, I feel I don't want to take more than the 2 hours of your time. I want to keep the VOD at that note.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks again for coming. It was a wonderful show. And hope to see you all again soon. And it's going to be amazing to see how Legion actually works out. This podcast will be on the YouTube. And to those of you on YouTube, thanks for liking, subscribing, and commenting if you feel a need for it. Goodbye.